up, fam, and welcome back to my channel, the place where I help people just like you get started building your business and your brand online using social media and online marketing strategies. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And on today's video, I'm going to be sharing my brand spanking new 2020 YouTube setup, which is why I have all this stuff around me. And it's very different. My setup this year and going into 2020 is totally different than what it was in 2019 and previous years. Now, on top of that, I'm going to be breaking down what the cost of my YouTube setup is. So make sure that you stick around until the very end for that reveal. So if you are so pumped, hit that thumbs up button and keep on watching. Now, before I dive in and show you all of the equipment, I will say that although this is not an extreme like YouTube setup that's gonna set you back like thousands of dollars, it's also not a super budget friendly setup either. So if you're at a point in your business to where you wanna start doing videos, but you just aren't able to invest a ton of money, be sure to check out this video over here where I show and share my budget friendly setup, so to speak, which is exactly what I'm using right now for this video, seeing as how I'm, gonna be showing you my camera setup. So right now I'm actually shooting from my iPhone 7, which is what I've used for years. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. So the very first thing that I upgraded was my camera. Now, again, like I said, right now I'm shooting from my iPhone 7. Since I'm doing this video, I wanna show you what kind of camera I have. But I ended up going with the Canon M50. It's the mirrorless camera. And I remember when I first got started, when I wanted to do videos, there was this mental block, and I didn't do videos for the longest time because I was so confused on what equipment to use. I was completely overwhelmed in the process. And even when choosing this camera, I'm pretty sure, like, I can't even tell you the amount of hours that I've binge watched Think Media's YouTube channel, which is all they do is like tech gear review, before finally deciding on the Canon M50. And one of the big reasons why I ended up choosing this particular camera is because, first of all, it's super lightweight. And I know that even though most of the videos that I do are sitting in my house, I've got the camera on a tripod, and I don't really do a lot of vlogging, I still didn't want to hinder myself in case that's something that I wanted to add at any time to my videos. So I knew that I didn't want like a heavy or really bulky setup, which is why I ended up choosing this particular camera. And I will say that I absolutely love it. Now, when I purchased this camera, the Canon M50, it did come standard with the 15 to 45 millimeter lens, which is what I had. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I've had this camera for about a year and I still shot with my iPhone, but I knew that there was a few different things that I wanted to get, and to be honest, I was also a little intimidated by going and by using a camera. But you know what? At some point, you got to put your big girl panties on and you got to get uncomfortable to move forward, right? So it came with this 15 to 45 millimeter lens, but the look that I wanted the aesthetic of my videos, which you're not going to see here, but I'll put some different clips up where you can see that I really wanted that vibe of having like clear up on my face with a blurry background. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up upgrading and getting a 22 millimeter lens, which is what's on here. It's like a 22 millimeter like pancake lens. So it's super thin, super light. And the 22 millimeter lens is what allows you to have that blurry background, which is what I really wanted. And I wasn't able to get with the 15 to 45 millimeter. And so that is one upgrade that I did, was I ended up getting a new lens to go with that. Now, aside from just the camera itself and the new lens, one thing I also had to get was obviously memory cards to go in it. And so I ended up having this one from my old camera. And so I ended up getting a new one, getting a bigger one. Now, this is something I will probably end up investing in and getting a few more cards. Now, although this one's like just the 32, in the camera that I have now, it's 64 gigabytes. And so obviously when I'm shooting video, or when you're shooting video and it's in higher quality, it's going to take up more space. And so I will probably end up getting a few extra, just, bigger memory cards just to hold all the videos. And so from there, that's the next thing. So we have the camera, we have the extra lens that I have, we have the memory cards. Now, the next thing that I wanted to do was upgrade on the audio. I didn't want to use just the standard audio from the camera. And after doing some research, I decided to go with the Rode mic, okay? This Rode mic, you can easily just attach. All you have to do on your camera is let me see if I can get up close a little bit, and I just slide it in, and then I just twist this to where it's sturdy and it's in place, it's not gonna move, and then you can just plug it in over here on this particular port, and then you have this setup. So even with the mic on here, it's still a very light setup, and it just increases obviously the audio quality, because when you're doing video, audio is very, very important, especially if you are planning on shooting outdoors or there's noise, you know, like wind, things like that. And so yes, that is right now what the setup looks like. Now, the next thing that I upgraded in my setup was my lighting. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers use like the big softbox lighting, and it's like kind of big and bulky. I just use a ring light, okay? And the one that I got, I'll actually have to look at the name, but I will link everything that I do, everything that I'm using, I will actually link below. But the one thing that I love about this particular light versus the old ring light that I'm using right now, the ring light that I'm using right now, you cannot adjust like the brightness of the lighting, you can't adjust the temperature. So if you want to do like a brighter or like a warmer tone or maybe even a cooler tone, it's just one brightness and that's it. And so I definitely wanted to upgrade, because I noticed, especially if I was ever shooting video at night or certain times when I couldn't adjust the lighting, I seriously looked like a White Walker out of Game of Thrones. So with the new lighting, what I love about it is it comes with this cool little remote, and you can change and you can adjust the temperature, you can adjust the brightness. And so if I'm sitting here and I have my camera set up to where, you know, I've got this flipped out, I can see myself. And that's the one other thing that I love about this, is when I'm recording, it's got face tracking, and so I can see. So when I'm, you know, looking and I'm setting my camera up and I'm getting it, you know, different angles, I can use this remote for my lighting and I can adjust it and see how it looks in the actual video before I start, and I can make any adjustments if I need to. So far, I'm absolutely loving this light. It also has a place where you can, you know, I can set my camera up on it, and so I don't have to have like an extra tripod. Now, aside from that, it did come with this handy dandy bag. So if I do want to, if I'm traveling, I can always just put it in this bag, take it with me. And then it also came with a couple of extra accessories. So if you know, wanted to record like from you have a tablet or something, it came with a tablet adapter. It also has an adapter that you can plug in for your phone. So if you wanted to do vertical videos or horizontal videos, so it has this that you can attach to it. It came with an extra one of these little things, which I don't know what that is. I guess it's just something that, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it came with that. And then it also came with this little clicker, but if I'm being totally honest, I'm not using it. I don't even know like what it's for. Another thing that I love about this light is that you can adjust the neck to where you can move it up, you can move it back, and I absolutely love that. That again is something that my old ring light didn't do that I wanted in this new one. And then of course with the lighting, with the stand itself, you can adjust it and make it, you know, super tall, or you can adjust it down. I actually had it on my table yesterday before my coaching session with my MML students, and so I just made it as small as it could go, and then I just laid it flat on the table just to give me some extra lighting. Now, one extra thing that I did end up getting as well is I ended up, and I just grabbed this at Walmart. I will see if I can find exactly the name of this. Maybe they have it on Amazon where I could link it below, but I ended up getting a new MacBook Pro, a new laptop for Christmas. Just a Christmas present actually for myself, because I was having issues with my desktop, and they have the new port. And so the new port, like on the MacBook Pro, does not have a USB, like at all. You can't plug a USB. And I'm like, dude, everything I use connects via USB. So I ended up going to Walmart and I grabbed this handy dandy little thing that I just plug into the side of my MacBook Pro. And what I love about it is it has all of these different, like, these are USB, this is an HDMI connector. Back here, you can connect Ethernet. It's got the USB 3, the new port. You can also, and this is what I love when it comes to video, it also has a spot for an SD card or a mini SD card. So when I'm through with my videos, obviously I have to get them from my camera to my laptop so I can get them sent to my video editor. And so all I do is I just take the little USB or I take the little SD card and I just slide it into this spot right here. And then I just connect that right into my computer, and that way that's how I transfer my video files or the pictures that I have. Now that pretty much sums up my actual equipment. Again, I upgraded my lighting, upgraded my camera, got some extra memory cards, got some audio for the camera, an extra lens, because again, you don't need the blurry background, but that is something that I wanted. So if that's something that you want in your videos, that's just something, you know, to kind of think about. And then again, I have this adapter. Now, the one extra thing that I did not get that I am going to be investing in, and this is something if you are using a camera or you do plan on buying a camera that you have to think about, is extra batteries, okay? So I ended up getting this supposed battery adapter that you plug in that's supposed to make it to where your camera doesn't die, and so you don't need extra batteries. But when I got it, for some reason it would not work in this camera, because for whatever reason, in order for the camera on the M50 to turn on, this spot where the battery goes, it has to close. And so I'm gonna research to see if I can find maybe some type of battery pack that I can plug in to where I can have consistent battery to my camera. But if I can't find that, then I will end up investing in a couple of extra batteries. So that's something else that you need to think about. So now let's shift gears, and I want to kind of break down what everything cost. Now, when I bought my camera, and the price has actually dropped, but when I originally bought it, it was $700. The extra lens to give the blurry background, the 22mm lens, it came in at $230. The ring light comes in at $138. These are US dollars at the time of recording. And then the memory card, $12. The Rode mic that I got to attach to the camera was $70. And then the adapter for the computer was around $55. So total, my YouTube setup for 2020 right now runs at about $1,200. Now, before we wrap up, I do want to tell you a cheaper way that you can get some of this set up. Now, right now on Amazon, they have a Canon M50 video creators kit, so to speak, and I'll link it down below. But what that does is it comes with the camera and the 15 to 45mm lens. Now, not the pancake lens that I have on here right now, but the camera that comes with this lens in the package, a 32GB SD card, obviously the battery, and the Rode mic for $649. So right now, this setup would have been cheaper had I gotten that versus, you know, getting everything separately. And then in that case, you know, all you would need would be maybe like an extra couple of SD cards, an extra battery, and your lighting. And that's the thing too, if you're shooting during the day, you've got a lot of light, you know, maybe you could just use natural light and eliminate that. Because I am all about, if I'm being completely honest, working with what you have, and then as you kind of go along, reinvest back in your business and get things as you can. But with that being said, I hope you kind of like this. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because on the next video, I am gonna be sharing how to start a YouTube channel in 2020. I'm gonna be giving you lots of tips. Now, if you got some value, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments. Like, what's the next thing that you're gonna be upgrading to kind of take your video to the next level? Let's talk about it below. With that being said, I hope you have the most productive day, the most productive week, and I'll see you back here next time for another video. Bye for now.